Hello, I'm Sally Stanton and welcome to A Snowy Snacks and Suitcases, the podcast packed with tips, tricks and real-life stories to make travelling with kids of all ages a whole lot easier and way more fun. And today is the final episode of my Ski Japan series. We're focusing on Club Med in Hokkaido and it's the last episode of the year, so we're getting into the festive spirit.
Mom, can I pack all my teddies?
Okay, let's get started. Skiing in Japan is just epic. And I've loved hearing all about Honshu from Carmen and Niseko from Christy. I hope you've enjoyed them too. But today we are finishing up with the Club Med resorts in Hokkaido. Michelle Davies, the GM of Club Med Pacific, is back to impress us with the family-friendly resorts that make ski holidays with your kids just a piece of cake, a delicious piece of cake. Remember, Club Med is the pioneer in the all-inclusive holiday space. They give us a ski trip, wrap it up in a bow, and make it so hard to refuse. Because we all know ski trips with little ones can be tough, so if you can make it easier, it's very much appreciated. And after my chat with Michelle, we hear from all my Ski Japan guests on how they celebrate a white Christmas. But first up, here's Michelle from Club Med. So Michelle, tell me more about the Club Med resorts in Hokkaido.
Absolutely. So we have 4 resorts in Hokkaido. We've got 2 in the domain which is called Kiroro. We have 1 in a domain which is called Sapporo, and the last resort is located in a ski domain called Tomamu. So they are all within a relative radius of Sapporo Airport up in Hokkaido, which has extensive snowfall throughout the season, and each resort offers something a little bit different. So depending on if you're a first-timer, if you're an advanced skier, if you're looking for a little bit of a cultural experience in addition to ski, there is a little bit of a difference between each of those. Sapporo is a resort that is very, very isolated, which is a huge advantage because there's no one else on the ski domain. It's not a private ski domain for Club Med.
When you say ski domain, you mean like this actual ski resort where the lifts are. So if you're staying in Australia, Perisher Ski Resort is the ski domain.
Exactly.
Right, okay.
So the domain is obviously the area in which our Club Med resort is situated. So we refer to it as the ski domain and then the Club Med resort, just to sort of, I guess, avoid confusion between which resort are you talking about.
Yeah.
But Sapporo is a very unique location because it's so isolated, meaning that Club Med guests are pretty much the only skiers on the mountain. So that's incredibly important for if you're an advanced skier and you're wanting sort of that space and that freedom to obviously ski what's a beautiful, beautiful domain. We've got Tomamu, which has a great offering for families that are first timers because you've got access actually to the Mina Mina Waterpark, which is a wave pool.
Yeah, I've seen this.
Yes.
This looks so cool.
And that's really cool, especially if you've got families or kids that have never skied before. Perhaps skiing all day might be a little bit tiring and there might be times where you might want to spend time off the slopes. So having access to the Mina Mina Waterpark or wave pool, as well as the ice village, which is on offer throughout the peak months of winter, that's a big, big draw card.
Wow.
For snowboarders or for powder lovers, I would absolutely suggest Kiroro.
Really?
I'm
a snowboarder.
Are you? Okay, well, this is absolutely up your alley. Located on the western side of Hokkaido Island, it's just that little bit closer to China and to Russia, meaning that it gets all of those Siberian winds. So the snowfall that you get on that side of Hokkaido, we actually get 21 meters of snowfall across the season. So it is really, really impressive for those powder lovers looking for that that deep power.
Wow, that number's just unbelievable to Australians, isn't it? 21
Unbelievable.
metres. 2 metres for us is a huge deal.
I know. And that's impressive. And for those that are loving those ski conditions, I can only recommend 21 metres of powder is going to be a really unique experience.
And like you were saying, you get the Siberian winds in Hokkaido, so the snow is so dry. You just won't experience anything like it here in Australia. You won't.
It is such a unique feeling, isn't it? The snowfall does have this uniqueness that even for me when I was there, I've skied a lot in Europe. We've got 15 resorts across our European Alps. So I've been to a lot of our different resorts there. And the powder versus Europe, it's also uniquely different.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, Australia, look, we try our best. We do well.
We do well. We're a bit of an underdog when it comes to the ski offer, but we do a bloody good job.
We sure do. So Kiroro has 2 resorts there.
It does. It's got we've got our Kiroro Grand, which is our larger hotel. This encompasses all of the kids' activities as well as access to our onsen on site and our pool, as well as all of our evening entertainment. So this is definitely the more family-friendly resort offer. Just a little bit up the way, so a little bit up the road or accessible via a small ski lift, we have Kiroro Peak, which is a much more boutique, intimate hotel experience. And this is very much tailored to families that have got teenagers because it's as part of our exclusive collection offering. So it's much more smaller in terms of the number of guests. There's a lot of additional amenities and services as part of our exclusive collection offering. And of course, those guests can access all of the facilities of Kiroro Grand at their leisure.
Oh, wow. So this one's a little bit fancier.
A little bit fancier, and it's ultimately 2 hotels in one.
Okay, and don't stay there if you've got kids, or they're not allowed.
They're not allowed because there isn't the access as readily available for the mini club and petit club and so forth. So it just means that it would be logistically quite hard to be transporting 3-year-olds on our ski lift to get back to petit club. So we do just have this resort, Kiroro Peak, accessible for families with teenagers or above.
So which resort is best for little kids and families? Obviously not the Kiroro one.
So all of our ski resorts have kids clubs available from 2 years old. So our Petit Club is available. We do have other ski resorts in our European Alps that are at an altitude and have accessibility to a town where they accept babies from 4 months. But because of our unique locations in Hokkaido where we are just that little bit further, that little bit more remote, we do have an age limit of 2 in those resorts. If I was traveling with little ones, I would definitely suggest Kiroro Grand for little kids. I think that this resort has all of the endless activities that they could need. For kids of a mini club age, I would suggest perhaps Tomamu. For teenagers, you can't go past Sapporo because the accessibility on the slopes is amazing. So much freedom, so much space to do whatever they want on the mountain. However, if you're looking for just that little bit more of a touch of luxury, you've got Kiroro Peak, which also has a fantastic offer for teenagers.
Which one is the easiest to get to?
Easiest to get to would probably be Kiroro Grand in terms of transfer time. It is about 40 minutes from Otaru, which is a small town as well. So families, if there was a whiteout on the slopes or for whatever reason they didn't want to go skiing, they could access the town there and discover the fish markets or the local shops and the local artisan activities there. So Kiroro Grand would definitely probably be the most accessible in terms of transfer time.
With the other resorts, are there places outside of the resort you can get to easily to have a look around and experience Japanese culture?
Great question. I would definitely be wanting to hire a car if you wanted to explore some of the outside areas. Kiroro Grand and Kiroro Peak do have access to Otaru, which is a fantastic town to explore. Sapporo and Tomamu are just that little bit more isolated, which comes with the advantage of knowing that the slopes won't be crowded, but it does mean that you are just that little bit further away from the local towns and the local sites. So definitely if you're wanting to do that, we would suggest hiring a car and booking in for the parking that's available at the resorts. But a lot of our families that are booking Club Med are often pairing that with a city stopover in Tokyo or Kyushu or Osaka. So they are experiencing that local culture either before or after that ski holiday. Mm-hmm. But if you're wanting to experience Hokkaido, I would definitely suggest hiring a car.
Oh, okay. So it's not like jump on a bus, go and explore down the road, or you can't walk to another sort of restaurant or anything.
No,
shops.
the towns are just a little bit further away. And again, that comes with the advantage of knowing that the slopes won't be crowded. So, yeah.
It definitely has its payoff, yeah. Which resort has the longest season?
The longest season for ski in Japan would be Kiroro Grand. This resort opens in early December and has the slopes open until the end of April, sometimes into May, depending on the snowfall.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That does work with the school holidays, like the Easter school holidays, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And for families that might be traveling Europe at that time, we've got a lot of resorts in our European ski portfolio that have a really long season as well. So Val Thorens is our highest altitude resort, as well as Teen, another very high altitude resort. And those resorts are open again from early December right through until end of April.
Really?
Yeah.
It's almost summer.
Yeah, I know. You're benefiting a lot from the glacier as well when you get to that high altitude, which is really, really unique.
Is that when you see people skiing in bikinis?
Well, look, yes, you may. If the weather is warm enough, you might see that. I'm not sure that would be advisable because if you fall over, the scratch on your bottom will be quite profound.
Oh, I'll definitely avoid that. Now, which resort offers the most varied terrain? So from beginners all the way up to black runs.
The most varied terrain, I would say, would be Sapporo. This is a resort that is perfect for beginners in the sense that there's a lot less people on the slope. So if you're a little bit like Bambi on ice, there's going to be plenty of time and space for you to be able to fall and get your bearings and build your confidence. But there is also a huge amount of higher black runs that are available in that terrain, meaning that there is just so much more to explore.
How do they celebrate Christmas in the Japanese ski resorts? Do they celebrate Christmas in the Japanese ski resorts?
Great question. Obviously, across Asia, Christmas isn't as widely celebrated as it would be here in Australia or New Zealand, or again, perhaps in the UK, for example. But what's fantastic about Club Med is one of its core values is about multiculturalism. We expect a level of multiculturalism in every single one of our resorts, meaning that we know we have clientele traveling from every corner of the world. And so we celebrate all of the national holidays and all of the facilities of almost every single culture.
Oh,
which is really, really important. We have Thanksgiving, which is celebrated. We have Christmas. We have Chinese New Year. We have all of these key moments of celebration celebrated in all of our resorts. And that's because we know that there will be families and guests traveling from those home countries where that's really important to them. So it's a great experience to obviously enjoy someone else's culture, but it also means that you can, teach and share with your children, why is this holiday that we might not even celebrate at home so important to somebody else? So it's a great cultural experience. Christmas is absolutely celebrated. There is Santa Claus there. There is Christmas trees and decorations. The menu will, of course, be Christmas themed. There'll be a touch of Japan, of course, woven into that so that we do have that touch of a local experience. But absolutely, those key holiday moments are 100% celebrated and cherished by our guests.
Yeah. So it really is an all-inclusive, inclusive holiday.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I love that phrase.
Bit cheesy. But, you know, in Japan, I had a friend ask me about that actually. They were worried about missing out on Christmas in Japan because they don't really celebrate it. But they do. They get behind everything no matter what.
Yeah.
Things are still open. It's a normal work day, but they get behind everything in Japan. They love it. They love a celebration.
They're so hospitable, the Japanese. They just have this, this friendliness that is just so unique to them as a culture. And you're absolutely right. You know, they might not celebrate it themselves, but they're more than happy to help you celebrate it. And if it's special to you, it's special to them.
When is the best time to book these holidays if you want to go for a white Christmas or just to get into the ski resorts? Because they book out pretty quickly, don't they?
They do. We're really, really popular. I would definitely be saying to anyone who's thinking about booking a ski holiday, you really do need to book 12 months in advance. Especially if you're wanting those peak weeks, those peak January school holidays, those Christmas, those New Year holiday dates are incredibly popular because they're not just popular for us as Aussies, they're popular for a lot of other countries all around the world. So you are sort of, going on holidays with, a myriad of other cultures and other languages and other guests.
Yeah.
What I would say is if you haven't quite got your organisation at that level of 12 months in advance, which I totally appreciate for mums and dads, that can be an ask. I would be looking at those Easter periods for families. The ski terrain will be still very, very healthy. There will be a huge level of snowfall that will be accessible for beginners right through to advanced, of course. You might not have the 21 meters of powder that you would have, in January or in February, but you will absolutely have solid powder to be able to ski or snowboard. So I would be looking at those dates. They are a little bit more affordable because they aren't so in demand, but they still have a wonderful offer for families and much warmer weather.
So, once again, the advice is to book as early as possible, which means a better book now for next year. Which one would you choose out of the Club Med resorts? I really like the sounds of Tomamu. I think I've just liked it for so long because there's the water park and the ice village and my daughter is the perfect age for that kind of resort. Then again, Michelle said if you're in Sapporo, you might feel like you're the only one on the mountain. No crowds. Wow. Well, hopefully with my last two episodes, one on Honshu resorts and the other on Niseko, you now have a better idea of where you'd like to go. But I really don't think you can go wrong anywhere in Japan. There really is a resort for everyone. And if you want to hear more from Michelle and Club Med, take a look at my other episodes. Michelle came on and dazzled me, wowed me with how amazing Club Med resorts can be. So have a listen to that one if you're thinking of booking an all-inclusive holiday. So Michelle also touched on a white Christmas in Japan. And since the silly season is upon us, let's hear from all my Ski Japan guests on how they like to spend a white Christmas. First up, it's Carmen Roberts from the Ski Honshu episode.
I love Switzerland. There's a little town called Grindelwald in Switzerland. It's so cute and chocolate box town. It's the quintessential traditional ski town that you have pictured in your mind from storybooks. It's lovely. I would love to go there again. I've done it once for Christmas. So I do love a white Christmas.
Sounds gorgeous. And here's Michelle from Club Med again talking about the French resorts.
I would absolutely say one of our resorts in France. I have actually done this experience personally, and it was just beautiful. There is something picturesque about our French resorts. They have this chalet type experience with all of the wood and all of the local, craftsmanship. The decorations are just something out of a postcard. It's just beautiful. There's these big glorious Christmas trees that take up the whole lobby of the entry. The food as well, when you're eating a French-based menu, menu for Christmas. There's just nothing quite that beats it. And I think that the entertainment is just so wholesome and so traditional. Santa Claus arrives in a various ways. He can either helicopter into the resort, he can either ski down to the resort, he can heli ski into the resort. So there's a really, really popular Santa's arrival that is just, kids are squealing with joy, which is just so, so special. I really think that there's just something about a European Christmas with the Christmas tree and all the trimmings that you just can't beat.
Oh, yeah, there absolutely is, especially for us here in Australia, because we're so far removed from that and we see it in the movies. So it almost feels surreal when you're part of it. And now here is Christy and how she spends Christmas in Niseko.
Christmas in Niseko is beautiful because it is a white Christmas, and Niseko is one of the snowiest places on earth, so you're pretty much guaranteed that white Christmas. It is different to other parts of the world because in Japanese culture, they don't traditionally celebrate Christmas. So we have to make a real effort to have, an Australian-style Christmas. I have to make a special trip to Costco to buy a Christmas tree and things like that. But generally, we blend a bit of Japanese with a bit of Western, and we'll have sushi and sashimi and hot pots along with your more traditional Christmas foods. So it's very unique. And then we get to go skiing.
Skiing on Christmas Day is so much fun. But if you think you'll be the only ones out there, think again, because it will be packed. It's just like any other day at a ski resort. But you know what? You do feel like you're part of a special club, or there's just like a good, happy energy in the air. It is extra fun. Now, my favourite white Christmas, and I feel very fortunate to have experienced this, was in Whistler, Canada, with my family about 5 years ago. It really was the ultimate Christmas in snowy paradise. So let me just try and paint the picture for you, because it's just, once in a lifetime. So as we were driving up the mountain towards the resort, it was nighttime, so you could see some fairy lights appearing, but they were just, they were few and far between at the bottom. A couple of trees here and there, but as you get closer, you start winding up the road, it just gets bigger and brighter, and then soon every tree is covered in sparkly fairy lights, and you feel like you're in a real-life snow globe. I am not kidding. The whole village looks like it's been dusted with icing sugar. There are twinkling lights draped across wooden chalets, snow-covered rooftops. There are crackling fireplaces. It's just like in the movies. People are warming their hands with mulled wine and hot chocolates. And those hot chocolates, well, they are next level. The whipped cream and sprinkles tower over the cup. And the air smells like pine trees. And cinnamon, my favourite scent from the bakeries. And if you're lucky, fat snowflakes, well, they will start falling down as the whole village then sparkles. It's so pretty. And that's just the beginning of Christmas in Canada. Hopefully one day I'll be lucky enough to experience it again, but I'll tell you what, I'm very content to have had that at least once in my life, because Christmas in Canada, it just feels bigger and brighter and impossibly perfect. I wish everyone a very Merry Christmas, no matter where you are in the world. Canada, Japan, Australia, snow, beach, city, bush. Thank you for listening to Snacks and Suitcases this year. I'll be back in 2026 with plenty more. And if you liked the episode, I'd love you to leave a review, send it to your snow-loving friends, and subscribe to the podcast for next year. Or listen back to old episodes so you can start planning your next holiday. There's plenty to choose from. But until then, Merry Christmas and happy travels.